is start with this one series on humility, forbearance, and patience by Radha Krishna Prabhu. But unlike a typical thing where we hear a lecture in full, there are, I think, 4 parts of this lecture. I am going to fast forward it. And when I'm going to fast forward the first part of this lecture, I'm going to read out the slide. Hopefully, mostly 10 minutes or so of our session, 10 to 15 minutes of our session today will be fast forwarding the first lecture. And after that, I'm going to go directly to the second lecture and play that second lecture. It's a different kind of a format. I hope you all can bear with me for this. Is that fine? Any comments, or would you all like to go through the lectures in full? Because there are 4 parts of this lecture and it will take a lot of time. So I thought I'll first, at least I'll complete one lecture sooner. Is this fine?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. Thank you. Let me go. This is it. Okay. So this is His Grace Radha Krishna Prabhu, and he is speaking on patience, tolerance, and forbearance. And he begins his lecture with this very nice verse from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. अवतार्य कार्य प्रभुरा नाम प्रचारे से निज कार्य प्रभु करे न तोमार द्वारे. The mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, for which he has descended as an incarnation, is to spread the importance of chanting the holy name of the Lord, Nama Prachare. Now, instead of personally doing so, he is spreading it through you. प्रत्यह करती न लक्ष्य नाम संकीर्तन सबर आगे करे न मेर महिमा कथन. So this is being addressed to Haridas Thakur, and to Haridas Thakur speaks like, "My dear sir, you are chanting the holy name 3 lakh times daily and informing everyone of the importance of such chanting." So chanting the holy name is an important aspect of what Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted us to do. Next, and then tells Haridas Thakur, अपने आचार के हो न करे प्रचार प्रचार करें के हो न करे न आचार. Some behave very well but do not preach the cult of Krishna consciousness, whereas others preach but do not behave properly. Sharbari Mataji, for the next verse, and whenever we find a Bengali verse, you please recite. Can you recite this Bengali verse, Mataji?
আচার প্রচার মেরা করো হরি করো তুমি সর্বগুরু তুমি জগতের আর্য.
You simultaneously perform both duties in relation to the holy name by your personal behavior and by your preaching. Therefore, you are the spiritual master of the entire world, for you are the most advanced devotee in the world. So, the achar and the prachar of the holy name and achar, the personal exhibition of the qualities, the personal dealings with others, which Haridas Thakur is having, Mahaprabhu's appreciating it very much. So, Radhakrishna Prabhu then says, yes, Mataji, please go ahead.
यत्तपियो তুমি হও জগৎ পাবন তোমার স্পর্শে পবিত্র হয় দেবমুনিগণ তথাপি ভক্ত স্বভাবা মর্যাদা রক্ষণা মর্যাদা পালন হয় সাধুর ভূষণ.
The very nice sentence, Maryada Palana Hoy, Sadhura Bhushana, that the following of Maryada is an ornament for the sadhu. The translation, my dear Sanatan, although you are the deliverer of the entire universe, and although even the demigods and great saints are purified by touching you, it is the characteristic of a devotee to observe and protect the Vaishnava etiquette. Maintenance of Vaishnava etiquette is the ornament of a devotee. This, if sometimes we get confused in the word Vaishnava etiquette, just replace it with the word Maryada, which is much more easily understandable for those coming from India. So this was a statement which Mahaprabhu told Sanatan Goswami. Next, Mataji.
Nariyadhanam Paribhuta Yogoloka Parota Dubhainasha.
If one transgresses the laws of etiquette or Maryada, people make fun of him, and thus he is vanquished in both this world and the next.
Maryada রাখিলে পুষ্ট হইলে মোরা মানো নিভাইছে না করলে করে পূজন।
By observing the etiquette, you have satisfied my mind. Who else but you could show this example? So Mahaprabhu is so happy with uh, Sanatan Goswami for having followed the right Maryada. And there's a pastime behind it, which I'm not going there. And because Mahaprabhu was so happy with the exhibition of etiquette or Maryada by Sanatan Goswami, he requested him to write a book on it, and that's present in the Hari Bhakti Vilas. Um, since nothing can be successful without sadachar or etiquette, every action should be performed with proper etiquette. We must act according to proper etiquette. The heart of a saintly person is free from contamination. And the way a saintly person acts is known as sadachar. That's so the basis of sadachar is the activities of a saintly person. Yes, Mataji.
বৈষ্ণবেরা গুণগ্রাহী না দেখায় দোষা স্বয়ং বাক্যে করে বৈষ্ণব সন্তোষা।
He always accepted the good qualities of Vaishnavas. And so this is regarding Haridas, Pandit Haridas. Mahaprabhu was saying he always accepted the good qualities of Vaishnavas and never found fault in them. He engaged his heart and soul only to satisfy the Vaishnavas. So I'm sorry, I told about this was told by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, it was told by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. Okay. So what Radha Krishna Prabhu is telling here is just like the bees seek honey and the flies they see on the body wherever there's a stone, they come and take it. A good person always looks at the good qualities of others, and a person whose heart is infested with a lot of unwanted stuff, they try to find bad things in others. So, in general, what are the qualities of a Vaishnava? Mataji.
সর্বমহাগুণগান বৈষ্ণব শরীরে কৃষ্ণ ভক্তে কৃষ্ণের আগুন সকলই সংসারে।
A Vaishnava is one who has developed all good transcendental qualities. All the good qualities of Krishna gradually develop in Krishna's devotee. And this is a very famous verse in the Madhya Lila. Kripalu akrita droha satyasara sama nidosha vadanya mridu shuchi akinchana sarvopakaraka shanta krishnaika sharana akama anihastira vichisha sadguna mitabuk apramatta manada amani gambira karuna maitra kavi dakshamauni. So there are these 26 qualities of this Vaishnava. He is merciful, humble, truthful. All of these many, many qualities are present. I can put this verse in our group later. Now, there's one other verse which goes this way. Titikshava karunikaha suhrada sarvadehinam ajata shatravah shantha sadhavah sadhubhushanaha. The translation is that the devotees, Titikshava Karunikaha, they're very tolerant, forbearing, and very merciful. They are the well wishers of every living entity, and they follow the scriptural injunctions. So while they do it, it's not like they don't follow scriptural injunctions. And because they have no enemies, they're very peaceful. These are the decorations of a devotee. So till now, Radha Krishna Prabhu is laying the foundation for the topic that he's going to come, which is number one, he says following of Maryada is very important. And he gives the example why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu likes somebody following Maryada. So although he wants all devotees to engage in spreading the holy name, which is the means to come back to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sri Krishna, this has to be done with Maryada. To have this Maryada, one should have some good qualities. One of the qualities that he's bringing about is that of patience. Beauty, humility, mercy, merit, patience, and expert intelligence are all manifested in Krishna. But besides these, Krishna has other qualities like good behavior, mildness, and magnanimity. He also performs welfare activities for the whole world. All these qualities are not visible in expansions like Narayana. So it's present but not visible. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur mentions that the qualities of beauty, humility, mercy, merit, patience, and expert intelligence are brilliant qualities. And when they're exhibited in the person of Narayana, one should know that they are bestowed upon Narayana by Krishna. Good behavior, mildness, and magnanimity are found only in Krishna. Only Krishna performs welfare activities for the whole world. This is also in Madhya Leela. So now Radha Krishna Prabhu had highlighted about patience. So, what is patience? Radha Krishna Prabhu says the ability to wait or to continue doing something despite difficulties, or to suffer without complaining or becoming annoyed, or the capacity, and it's one of the things, capacity of bearing pains or trials calmly or without complaint, not being hasty or impetuous. One has to be, and being patient means one is steadfast despite opposition, difficulty, or adversity. And all of this, for all of this seems to be external and slightly internal. But the key internal thing is trusting in Krishna's timing and plan. Let me go further. Yeah. What about in other traditions? What is patience? In the Hebrew language, the word for patience is savlanat. Sva literally means to bear or to suffer. And the virtue is to bear or suffer something unpleasant or painful without increasing the suffering. They seek to treat all people as though they are created in the divine image. How? So, if you look at the example of Jesus Christ, it, the the prominent thing with Jesus Christ, which the Christians believe, is he died for the sins of others. And that is this patience, the bearing or suffering for others. That is their understanding. Uh, in common American usage, patience means number one, it is something that you lose, something you possess in limited quantity. That is, I lose patience. I don't have a lot of patience. I'm losing my patience. That's the phrase that is used. Uh, or in other words, if from an American sense, if a person is patient, they don't get annoyed during a delay. They do not get angry when someone lets them down, or they do not explode when someone attacks. Rather, you say and do nothing. You hold it in until you can't suppress your feelings any longer. That's the slightly different way which they use in American language. Okay. Next, that was about patience. What is tolerance? To bear something unpleasant or annoying, or to keep going despite difficulties. So, this is more related to the American way of patience here, actually, which is what the world commonly thinks of these days. And the other definition of tolerance is to accept behavior and beliefs that are different from one's own, although one may not agree with or approve. of them. So by doing this fast forwarding thing, almost in 15 minutes, we covered 30 minutes or so. So at double speed, we are going here. Okay. Now, we'll come to a definition of forbearance. Forbearance is the quality of being patient and being able to forgive someone or control oneself in a very difficult situation. It is restraint under provocation or not enforcing something due. Parents have a very great example. They have a very great, what's the right word to use? Daily, daily they try to follow this principle that the children usually provoke them to do something. The children wake up late in the morning. The parents, and then they test the patience and the forbearance of the parents. They have to send them to school, and yet the parents are supposed to keep their calm. So this is one common example that happens every day in the life of most parents. One other thing which Radha Krishna Prabhu is talking about here is when one refrains from the enforcement of something, such as a debt, a right, or obligation that is due, that is also forbearance. Now we come to the definitions from scriptures. A person who tolerates all kinds of troubles, even though such troubles appear to be unbearable, is called forbearing. When Krishna was residing at the place of his guru, his spiritual master, he did not mind taking all troubles and rendering service to his guru. Although his body was very soft and delicate, it is the duty of the disciple to execute all services unto the spiritual master, despite all kinds of difficulties. And Shivram Maharaj says in his book Shuddha Bhakta Chintamani that forbearance, sometimes also referred to as forgiveness, indicates that amid the alarming turbulence of this world, devotees are tolerant, humble, respectful, and prideless. And this is first from the nectar of instruction. Utsahat nishchayat dhairya tat karma pravartanat sangatyagat sato vritte shadbir bhakti prasidhyati. And there are six principles favorable to the execution of pure devotional service. One is utsaha, being enthusiastic; nishchayat, endeavoring with confidence; dhairya, being patient; tatat karma pravartanat, acting according to the regulative principles, that appropriate karma, such as shravanam, kirtanam, vishnu smaranam, etc. Sangatyagat, abandoning the association of sangha in general here means bad association, non-devotees. Sato vritte, following in the footsteps of previous acharyas. So by doing so, one can have success in devotional service. So it's 6:50 now. Just women will not have the discussion session today here, but I'll just play a little bit of this here now.
Requires both patience and confidence. A newly married girl naturally expects offspring from a husband, maybe not nowadays, but she cannot expect to have them immediately after marriage. Now, you could still do that if you're in the upper planetary system. Yeah, the demigods, they can do that, but most of you are not. So, of course, as soon as she is married, she can attempt to get a child, but she must surrender to her husband, confident that her child will develop and be born in due time. Similarly, in devotional service, surrender means that one has to become confident. The devotee thinks, Avashya Rakshibe Krishna. Krishna will surely protect me and give me help for the successful execution of devotional service. This is called confidence. So, do we have that confidence? Yikes. Right? You feel that way. Yikes. Do I have that confidence? Oftentimes we get up in the morning, we think, yes, I'll do a good job. By the end of the day, you forgot what you wanted to do, what you want to accomplish. So many things come in that may take your time away. Or even sometimes, Prabhupada gives another example also. Yeah, this is the other example. The mother is cooking very nicely in the kitchen. So then, this is from Chaitanya Charitamrita. This is by Mahaprabhu. He talks to the Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, and Anupama, the three brothers. They are stuck with the Kazi and they can't come out. So they are living in and Mahaprabhu was still living as a family man in Navadvip, so they want to converse with the Supreme Lord, so they were writing letters to him, exchanging, and they considered themselves very degraded, very untouchable, and they wanted to give up and come and be with the Lord. And in one letter, the Lord encouraged them to be patient. He said, just be patient. And then he wrote this. He says, Paravyasanini nari vyagra vigriha karmasu tadvasvadayati antar navasanga rasayanam. If a woman is attached to a man other than a husband, she will appear very busy in the household affairs, though within her heart always relishing the company of her paramour. So he's telling them, keep your desire for Krishna consciousness internalized when you're working with the Kazi and so on. And in your mind, you can think of your paramour. Right? Yes. So, another verse that describes both patience, tolerance, and forbearance is this very famous verse. You all know this, right? Yeah, you can chant together. Tattena kampa susamekshamano bunjana evadma kritam vipakam ritvagma purvi vidadanamaste jivita yo mukti pada sadayabhak. My dear Lord, one who earnestly waits for you to bestow your causeless mercy upon him, all the while patiently suffering the reactions of his past misdeeds and offering you respectful obeisances within his heart, words and body, is surely eligible for liberation, for it has become his rightful claim. So this verse is both patience, tolerance, forbearance. So whenever a devotee has fallen into difficulties or in distress, he thinks it is the Lord's mercy. He thinks like that. Now we don't, right? We don't, right? So what does it mean? What does it mean? Huh? Lack of faith, okay, one of them is lack of faith. What else? Not taking proper shelter of Krishna. What else? Anyone wants to add anything else? Subha? Yes?
Like that means I don't see things happening in my life and connection to Krishna.
I don't see things happening in my life in connection with Krishna. Okay, that's nice. You're all right. Yeah, you're all right. Yeah, but we don't think, right? We don't think that way. Also, immediately we blame somebody else. Right? Immediately you say, she is the cause of my suffering. Or he is the cause of my suffering. Right? She's put me on the roster. I have to do service tomorrow. Right? That's how they blame in the temple, blame the temple president for everything. Yeah. we don't think, oh wow, the Lord is so kind, He has put me on the roster. Do we? We don't. We don't. It's like we want Krishna, but we want Krishna at a distance, Yeah. We want him to be, you're good there, I'm good here. I'm okay, you're okay. Right? So that means we don't really understand. That's like Shantaras. Shantaras is you come, sit down, sing for the Lord and go. No service. No active service, yeah. Yeah. We want to get into this Krishna consciousness. Now, I mentioned earlier a little bit. To get into this seriously, if you want to get into the pastimes of Krishna, you need to do your sadhana so well and read the glories of the Lord. Because if you do it nicely, a pastime in Krishna's pastime will appeal to your heart. It'll rock you. And you want to know more about that. Because you read a personality in the Krishna's pastime, that person is Ragatmika Bhakta. So then you get attracted to that Ragatmika Bhakta. And so you meditate on that person. And that's spontaneously it comes out. And it only will come out when you're in the stage of anartha nivritti. You must at least cross that anarthas. If you can't come to that stage, you'll still be, in the tarangini waves, up and down. So therefore, if you're not having that kind of taste, that means you're not glorifying the Lord sufficiently, you're not practicing properly. Search for what is holding you back. The onus is on you, on us, to look for what's holding us back. Yeah? Otherwise, you can't even pray to the Lord, You can practice though. If you are going through difficulty, you can stand in front of the deity and say, "My Lord, I can't take it, but I know I deserve it." You can practice that. You can practice. You come there, you pray, I know I can't take it. I don't know why, but I probably deserve it. I don't like it. Then what you should say? You say, "Please give me the strength to go through this." Right? That's how you should pray.
I'll pause here. You might have heard Prabhu, Radhakrishna Prabhu, for just maybe 10 minutes today, but at least I felt so enlivened by his small sentences, and I guess you too. It's because the lecture is very big and it's 2 hours, and there are 3 or 4 parts of it that I summarize the first few minutes. Definitely, I know I have done a bad job at that summarization, but we'll continue to hear from this point onwards tomorrow too. Anybody quickly in 5 minutes, if you'd like anything what Prabhu said so far, the last 10 minutes? Sulochana Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Danatna. Yeah, that sentence, Prabhu, Prabhu mentioned like whatever the miseries, if we are getting, then we feel immediately like as per the scriptures and Bhagavad Gita and all, we should consider that is mercy of the Lord. But in the real case, so we won't think like that. And if anything, even any service also comes, like we'll say like because of you, I am facing this difficulty, misery, each and everything and all like that. We won't consider like there is a Krishna's plan and all like that because of lack of faith, lack of confidence, all these things. That point, like Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Anybody else? Sharbari Mataji, please go ahead.
Krishna Prabhu, I understood what Shanta Rasha is. It wasn't very clear, but this time in this lecture it became clear about Shanta Rasha. Thank you, Prabhu.
Me too. Me too. I like the way he put Shantaras, and most of us are not ready to get into the higher rasas because we want Krishna to be where he is and not bother us where we are, kind of thing. Thank you. Anybody else?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Thank
Please.
I have actually little, it's uncomfortable thing. Why, I know there are scriptures, but why only ladies are being quoted for all these things? Like if you have the problem or if you have, if you want child, I mean, are the ladies only want these things? I mean, is this, it's not the desire of the men?
Oh, I mean, it was I think you should just take it as an example, Mataji. That's nothing more than that. If any Srila Prabhupada had, in one sense, much higher standard that he expected from men in many ways. So there was a difference. He did believe that there is a tendency in general that a lady, when she gives her heart to a man, she will follow what a man does. And therefore, it is important for the men to be trained properly so that they can elevate others. That aspect is there, but that doesn't mean in any way that the ladies are lesser. It is just it is very similar to how a guru or a teacher has to have higher standards compared to a disciple in general. Then the teacher is able to transmit certain values to the disciple. This is the standard Vedic way as such. But it is not an example like the one which you are quoting right now is to only the ladies have certain desires while men do not have. No, it's not. Here it is just circumstantial, Mataji. That's it.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Any other comment? Yes, Yashaswini Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Please go ahead.
Prabhu, I like where Prabhu was saying that we may come across the difficult situations and we may not like it, but we should try to pray to Lord that please give me the strength so that I can uh, tolerate and I can handle all these situations. So the prayer we should offer to the Lord that difficult time. That is the nice thing Prabhu told. Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Mahadi Sundari Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu said one point, if you want to go deep into Krishna's pastimes, first we have to chant and hear properly and then glorify the Lord. Then we can go to the Krishna's pastimes. So that's what I have.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else? That's it. Okay. We'll pause here. We'll continue hearing this and the other series the next few days or weeks, rather. Thank you very much. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you, Prabhu.